Hello everybody, my name is BearCozy. Today I wanted to run level 70 Endless Trial, and I wanted to make a level 70 Endless Trial tutorial for those of you that are having a really hard time with it. So if it's your first time here, my name is BearCozy. I strive to make not only entertaining, but also educational videos. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into a level 70 Endless Trial. We're going to take it slow. I'm going to explain things as I go, and we're going to break this down into a few different parts. Going into level 70 Endless Trial, if you are struggling on any of the Endless Trials, including level 70, and that is where I struggled for a long time, hopefully I can give you some tips that'll help you progress. We are going to take it slow. We're going to break it down into a few different parts. That way I can explain everything thoroughly and we can take it nice and slow. For the sake of videos, for the sake of time, I typically try to go through things as quickly as I can to try and keep my videos under 20 minutes. But for this one, I think we're going to take it one floor at a time. That way I can explain my thought process, what I'm looking for, and how I go about completing it. So first things first, we hit the artifact as always. And right off the bat, this is actually really good. So level 70 Endless Trial, couple of things to note here when you're starting out. The rule of thumb that I use for my heroes is I like to bring a buffer, I like to bring 2 damage dealers, and I like to bring 1 taunt champion, preferably an AoE taunt champion. That way it covers everything. I'll get into that a little bit more later on as we get there. But the first thing I want to notice is the first thing I want to talk about right here that I noticed is the Soul Chaser Blade, which is absolutely amazing. Soul Chaser Blade is a very must-have for me personally. I like to run lots of single target heroes, and because of that I take Soul Chaser Blade. Now of course Antinua I like to run. Antinua is single target, Zalux is single target, and Nathalia is also single target. Even though her trait allows her to hit multiple enemies, she is single target. So for that reason I do take Soul Chaser Blade, because when attacking a single target, even though Nathalia hits multiple enemies, she always attacks a single target. There's a 20% chance to attack again, so we are going to take this right away. So right now, here's what I like to do. I like to get in and go for the recruit, see if we can get something good. Right now, Evira is okay. We're going to take Evira. Evira is great. Gangelo is good. I have Gangelo. Gangelo is very good for the last boss on floor 3. So if you don't have Gangelo, go ahead and grab him. Or if you need a poison champ, grab him. I'm going to grab Evira. We can try and use her to mix it up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab this event here, this random event. 30% attack and 30% crit rate for the next 3 battles. And that should help us get started. So let's go ahead and start with something a little bit easier like this. This is level 70, and let's build our team. Now, typically what I do is I like to bring Brand. My Brand is fairly fast. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our newly recruited Evira. And what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and grab Nathalia here, and I'm going to grab Antinua. Antinua is fantastic. She's a single target. Now, Evira is not a single target, so we can always change it up. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and use Opal. Opal's not fantastic. Garel's pretty good as well. He's a little bit more sustaining. Opal doesn't do a ton of damage, but we are going to use her. And then as we get rolling, maybe we'll use Evira. For spells, I like to use Sundering Purgatory for the defense down, and the Water Prison. Now, a couple of things to note here. This is usually the team that I build. We can even go ahead and switch Opal out for Lunar Mel. Since this is level 70, I like to use Lunar Mel because the enemies don't always die on the first go around, right? On the first damage dealing round. So one thing to note here is we have our buffer, we have our AoE taunter, and we have our 2 damage dealers, right? Whoever you want to bring. You can use Sierra or Evira. My Sierra has no gear, so I'm still struggling for gear there. I've been working on Clan Boss, but what I wanted to mention is if your heroes are below 150 speed, what you might want to do is you might want to either bring Winstrix instead of Brand, and Winstrix will give you all the buffs you need. I think mine is only level 50. You can use Winstrix. Winstrix works really well, but considering that my Brand is really fast, I am going to use Brand, and I'm going to go into Lunar Mel. If you don't have Lunar Mel, if you do not have a taunt champion, what we're going to do is we're going to use Winstrix and then maybe 3 attack damage heroes. And maybe we can use 3 damage dealing heroes. So if you don't have Antinua, you don't have Brand, bring a buffer or somebody with a speed up, and then we're going to get into it. Now right now I'm just going to go on auto, but what I am looking to do is I'm looking to taunt and lock out the enemy's ultimate abilities and let my damage dealers, of course, do their thing. Brand is going to go. He's going to buff everybody up. That works really well with Nathalia's trait. She's going to nuke. Everybody should be dead. If they're not, Antinua should attack. And then we'll see if Antinua procs again. Nathalia did not, but usually Nathalia procs a couple of times. Antinua, I've seen Antinua proc 12 times by the end of this run. So as we go into the next battle, as I mentioned before, the rule of thumb for me is, and this is just for me, if your heroes don't have 150 speed, if they are slower, bring Winstrix or somebody that will give them a speed up. Mine are a little bit faster, so I don't typically need a speed up. The other thing that we are looking for is if your heroes are slower than 150, and this is not a rule of thumb, this is just something that I follow. There are always extreme cases to that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab the crit damage, which is obvious choice. But the other thing that I really look for is speed, right? Regular speed. We're going to skip formation here. We're going to go on auto. So here we are. We're going to go on auto. I'm going to target Tia here as soon as the buffs go out. Hopefully we can stun her and then taunt everybody else. But the other thing that I'm looking for, the other buff that I'm looking for is, of course, the speed, right? Sometimes you get just regular speed. Sometimes you get attack and speed, depending on the buff that we get. Hopefully we'll get that here. One of the things when I first started running this, I struggled with a lot was, there we go, Antinua doing some really good work. One of the things that I struggled with a lot was speed. My whole team used to go behind the enemy, and that they would take a lot of unnecessary damage, and over the next 5, 6, 7 battles, they would almost die, and it was very, very difficult. So the rule of thumb for me is if they are faster than 150 speed, I don't bring Winstrix. If my team is slower than 150 speed, I typically bring Winstrix to make sure my team goes first. And that is why I go first into a AoE taunt, so that way my damage dealers can survive long enough. Now, selecting an artifact here, what we're going to do is when an enemy is killed, allies gain 30% attack and 10% speed, which is really, really good. And hopefully that'll help us go first as well. And as I've mentioned, this is exactly what I look for. The other thing that I look for, this one actually does not really have anything great. The attack is good. Negative defense is not fantastic, but it should be okay. And then what I like to do is once I reach the halfway point where it starts to split, I like to see where this fire is, because that's the fire that's going to take the debuffs off everybody. Sometimes it's on top, sometimes it's on the bottom. Keep that in mind. If it's on top, I like to stick to the top. If it's on the bottom down here, I like to try and work my way down, because if you miss it, it's going to be very, very tough to take on the boss. Here we go. We're going into the next fight. So far, these are fairly easy, and that is good because we got extra attack, but we also got negative 50% defense, which means my team is going to take a lot of unnecessary damage. However, I am fairly confident that my team has enough damage to be able to one-shot all these enemies here, and hopefully we're not going to take any damage. Now, the next thing going in is what I'm looking for is an artifact for some kind of a healing at the end of the turn. So if you are struggling with keeping everybody alive, perfect. Perfect. Right as I said it, here we go. The Fountain of Vitality is very, very good. Restores 5% health at the start of the turn, and that works fantastic. So we are going to get that. All right, let's go ahead and use the Divine Statue. Everybody's still alive, but if you need the Divine Statue, you can use it. By the way, check out the Breath of Revival. I have a ton of them, so if I need them, I can always use them. Now, right now, we don't have a whole lot of black market vouchers, only 28. I do need a couple more, so let's do a few more battles. Going into this one, these are fairly easy. Anytime you see wave 1 of 1, these are fairly easy, and I like to use a well-rounded team, so you'll see a lot of times I use a lot of similar heroes. Of course, I use Brand for Nathalia's buffs. Winstrix is good. I used Winstrix for a long time until I got Brand over 100. I think he's about 180. Lunar Mel is like 200. I think she's right on the dot, 200 speed. That took some time farming Ash Magisteria 12. I made a video on Ash Magisteria 12 of my team, all of their stats. Feel free to check that out. And this actually works really, really well because as you see, when the enemy takes their turn, they do attack Lunar Mel. And Lunar Mel is actually in a revival set, which is the first good thing, which means she gets healed every single round. Plus, we just got the artifact where she restores 5% health at the end of the round. So that's keeping her alive. And of course, the taunts are keeping my damage-dealing heroes alive. And there goes Antinua. We'll see if we can get a couple more Soul Chaser Blades for some more procs there, for some more single-turn procs. Nathalia is really, really good. Once we get 2 or 3, Nathalia can take 5 or 6 turns, which is awesome. And then, of course, Antinua. I've seen Antinua, and I've made videos of her taking like 12, literally 12 turns in a row. It was absolutely insane. But that was on floor 3 after we got some buffs. So here we go. Hey, you're still watching the video. That means you're enjoying the content. And if you're enjoying the content, that means somebody else will also. Click the subscribe button below and help this video reach more people so they can enjoy it as well. I typically like to get 15% lifesteal on critical strikes. Dodge we don't necessarily need, and defense we don't necessarily need. I am not going in with a defense heavy team. If you were going in with a defense based team, you would want to get more defense. But right now for me, I want to get lifesteal on critical strikes, get a little bit of more sustain, and we're going to go through. So right here, this is pretty much your choice. This doesn't really do anything. Meal coupon doesn't do anything. And then the jelly is nice. However, I don't want to lose 20% health. So I'm going to take the mysterious coupon. And the reason being is because we are coming up on the boss. I don't want to be negative health here. If it was something very, very good, I would definitely take it. If we had an epic or a legendary artifact, that would be fine. However, I don't want to lose the health. Let's go ahead and target Sierra in the back. Maybe we'll stun her. Actually, she's gonna be taunted here, but we're gonna stun her anyways. I am wasting the stun there. It is getting wasted. However, I don't want a manual. I know my team can auto this, and this should be fine. Now, what I am gonna do, I am going a little bit fast. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna slow down a little bit. I am used to trying to go a little bit faster for the sake of time, trying to fit it into one video. So what I am going to do is I'm going to break this down, slow down a little bit, break this down, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how things are working. So once this battle is complete, we can go over some of the artifacts I have, what's really good to buy, and who's really good to use. And Antinua is one of them. Unfortunately, she didn't kill Balberith, but wow. Okay then, well, Antinua's down, so that's interesting. Never really seen that before. Usually Balberith dies, but if we manual this would have been fine. I would have saved the stun for later. However, okay, well, we'll see if Nathalia dies. Unbelievable. Hopefully he doesn't res again. There we go. The healing is actually proccing. That is really, really good. I'm really happy that I got the extra healing at the end of the turn. That is what I look for. Hopefully he's not going to res anymore. I've seen him res like 4 or 5 times, and it's just crazy. So here we go. That was good, but that was bad. Antinua is dead. However, we can now bring in Evira. Evira will work, and then we'll res her later down the road, which is okay, and this is good to have options. So right here, after this battle, select an artifact. The absolute best artifact, in my opinion, to get is the Guiding Crown. Each attack has 20% chance of granting the character joint attack from a random ally. Joint attack is absolutely amazing, especially if you have somebody that already has joint attack. I don't believe these artifacts stack up straight, so meaning if you get 5 Guiding Crowns, I don't believe it's 100% chance to get a joint attack. I believe each time there is an attack, it rolls on the artifact to see if it lands on 20%. If it doesn't, it goes to the next one. If it doesn't, it goes to the next one, and then you can get 3 in a row sometimes, something like that. So don't quote me on that. That is my experience. I know that if you get 5 of these, it's not going to be 100%. Or if you get 2 of these and then you get somebody that has a 50% chance to join attack as well, to join an ally, I don't believe you will get 100%. So that is just my experience. If you have any experience with this, let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, but please be nice. Man, some people. So anyways, here we go. Let's take a look at the artifacts. Right now, we have the Beast Necklace. When an enemy is killed, all allies gain plus 30% attack and 10% speed, which is awesome. Next one, we have Soul Chaser Blade, my absolute favorite. When attacking a single target, there's a 20% chance to attack again. We haven't seen this proc too much. It's only 20%. Usually I start seeing it a lot if I get a second one. Now, of course, the joint attack is really, really good. That helps a ton. Hunter's Gloves, we get some lifesteal on critical strikes, and that works out well. Fountain of Vitality restores 5% health at the start of every turn. And then, of course, we have the Gladiator Medal, plus 20% crit damage, which is really, really nice. Crit damage means a lot, especially in level 70 Endless Trial. Right now, however, we have not got enough black market vouchers, unfortunately, to get anything really good. I would have liked to get this speed. Here's the Doomsday Chain plus 30 speed. That will help out a lot. It's actually a little bit slower. Usually I get at least 1 artifact by here. But here's what I like to do. Here's where it splits. You have an option. If you want gold, you can get gold. If you want the random artifact, you can get this. And I typically go for the random artifact, and then I go to the bonfire and then to the boss. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into this. We're going to uncheck skip formation, and we're going to put somebody else in. Let's go ahead and put the Evira that we just hired. She's a recruit. Usually I like to see if we can recruit somebody. The other one that's actually really, really good here is Flarence. Flarence is really, really good. Let's go ahead and use Brand instead of Flarence because of Nathalia's trait. I want to make sure she has buffs. I don't know if Flarence will give me the buffs that I need right away. I know it takes some time. And then this should be fairly easy. We should be okay. However, the stacks are coming up, right? The debuffs are stacking on my heroes. So I have to keep that in mind. Let's make sure that Nathalia can clear. All of these, the enemies are green, right? Which means Nathalia is weak. That is unfortunate. Hopefully, Evira can do some damage. And as you can see, she's a recruit and she's really, really slow. Looking at the turn order on the bottom, if she went first, that would have been awesome. If she went before the enemy team. However, she does not. She did get a counterattack, which is really nice. Hopefully, here we go. Let's see if we can finish them off. I need a good fire hero that I don't have right now. There's the secondary attack, which is really, really cool. We get a deflect again. Let's see if we get a stun on him. He is stunned, and he's going to take a little bit of time, right, because he's got the passive there. But little at a time, we're going to get through it, and then there we go. The joint attacks are popping off, and this is where it gets a lot of fun. This is where we start seeing a lot of different things here. And you can see Antinua is taking a lot of different turns. Evira, wow, he is a tough cookie, huh? He is a tough cookie. He's bleeding as well, Antinua. Let's see if we can kill him. Maybe Nathalia can finish him off if we don't get a deflect there. Wow. Slow and steady. He's still bleeding. Is he going to bleed out? There we go. Working A-okay. Slow and steady. We're going to get through it. There we go. Okay, this is down, and this has worked out really, really well. And we are moving on. So, a couple of things here. Select an artifact. From left to right, we get lifesteal plus 12%, which is nice. Attacks have a 50% chance to steal one random positive effect. Marksman bow stacks really, really well with the guided crown, with the ally attack, with the joint attack, right? Ranging cross plus 20% attack when below 30% health. That one is good as well. I think what I'd like to do here is I would like to take Marksman's bow to potentially steal any positive effects on the enemy, especially for later on, for later bosses, especially on floor 3. But you can pick whatever you want here. That's what I'm going to grab. Then I'm going to grab a random event here. Here we go. This is really, really cool. I have lots of Breath of Revivals. As you see, I got 21 Breath of Revivals. I don't need any more, but I am looking forward to this legendary artifact, and all team members recover 50%. That is very, very big, because usually when you claim a legendary artifact, I believe you lose health. So this is really nice. Plus 50% damage to the first ultimate ability used in battle, and that is really, really good. Of course, if you have Evelyn First Dawn. I do not. I don't know if that's going to matter. However, let's go ahead and grab this, and then we're going to go for the boss. So on this boss, we have Scarlet, we got Fish Face, and then we got a couple other guys. We're going to get into this, and we're going to see if we can lock Scarlet out. Now, Scarlet is red, so we do need to bring either a red hero or a blue hero, right? Water is really, really good versus fire, so we're going to bring Opal. And Opal is single attack as well, so hopefully she'll do us proud. And I think this is going to work out okay. Water is really strong against fire, and we have Opal and Nathalia. And then, of course, we have Lunar Mel, and we're going to get into that. You can also go in with a very heavy defense team. You can also bring somebody, you can, let's see, if we take these out, Lunar Mel I really like because she protects the team. If you don't have her, you don't need to use her. If you have Gangelo, you can always go in with a poison team. Gangelo, Santos, and then you can either use Flarence or you can use Rodira, and you can use, this will actually work out really well. Flarence, Marion Shadowblood, or William, Marion Shadowblood. The idea here is Bruzak's really good as well. Urzag is really good. However, Urzag is green, right? So you don't want to bring wood against fire. You want to make sure you want to try to bring some blue heroes. So you can go in with a defense-heavy team like this, and then just switch out the defense down for the Gaia's Renewal to keep everybody alive. this will work as well. Bruzak doesn't have any gear right now, but this will work. It's going to take some time. It's a little bit slower, but we can go in with this team as well if that's what you would like to do. We can go in with this team, and we can check that out. Let's go in and see how they do. That is unfortunate. We wasted the stun there because it started an auto. This is typically the team that I run on level 70 at the end on floor 3, on level 70 bosses, because Antinua protects the whole team. And then the poison stack, especially if we were able to get a poison debuff, right, or a poison artifact. If we got a poison artifact, that would be amazing. But Gangala helps a lot. So I like to go in with this. If you don't have a team that can nuke through, and if you are struggling, go in with a defense-heavy team. Make sure you keep your team alive, right, by taunting, by maxing out their HP. And then we're just going to stack HP, and we're going to survive. It's going to take a few extra turns, maybe 5 or 6 rounds. But we are going to stack the poisons, and we're going to just survive by healing. Antinua is taking a ton of damage, so let's go ahead, and everybody's still taunted. What we can do is we can probably just heal everybody here a little bit early. I'm going to save the stun, and then I'm going to just keep focusing on Scarlet. And then I think where it gets interesting is if you have Santis. Santis' special will deal damage, and she will actually spread all the poisons to another enemy. So find an enemy that have a lot of poisons. I'm going to just use this on Scarlet. Hopefully we'll stack it. And there we go. Fish face gets stacked. So next time it refreshes, we can actually go ahead and let's go ahead and target him. He does heal himself. Next time Santis' special refreshes, you can see we got a bunch of attacks there. We can use it again is what I'm trying to say. So when Santis' special refreshes, we can use that wall of poisons to transfer it on somebody else. And that's going to work really nice. Now, what I want to do is I want to stun Scarlet here. I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit... we're going to see how it goes. Like I said, this is a little bit slower. But we're going to see how this goes. Let's stack some poisons on Fish Face. See if we can kill him. Hopefully we can get a wall of poisons on him. He does get healed every time you hit him. That's not ideal. I'm really not looking forward to Lunar Mel dying. That's going to be very, very tough. I think she will here. Yeah, not enough sustain here. I did not bring a regular healer. I brought in Hackrin. Maybe if we brought in Florence, she could have done a lot better. However, we can always restart if we need to. I am not going to. I'm probably just going to res somebody. But this is going to be A-okay. And then we have the joint attack here. Let's go ahead and just stack some more. Now, we don't have an AoE taunt, so I might lose a few heroes here. We'll have to see how it goes. Typically, I would restart. If Lunar Mel dies, I would typically restart and try it again. But this is an option. I'm trying to give you options as well. Let's go ahead and AoE everybody with the poisons with Santis. So if you don't have Gangalo, just bring a heavy sustain team. Bring a very, very heavy defense team and 2 healers. Maybe a Hackrin and a healer. That way nobody dies. Now, of course, I am going to use... Let's go ahead and use the heals here. See if we can kill Scarlet. Probably not, but we did get a little bit of a heal here. We got twice, actually, which is nice. Gangalo is going to die as well. So this run is usually over. We can still complete it. However, the mistake that I made was that I did not bring enough heals. So if you run into this problem, we can always restart. We can get our Antinua back. We can get our Lunar Mel back. Excuse me. Antinua died a while back. Let's go ahead and stun. This should still be fine, but we can get Lunar Mel back. And then I don't like losing this many heroes, but it is okay. It is okay. So what we can do is just slow and steady. This is how I usually beat the last boss. The last boss on floor 3 is very, very difficult. And this is not my go-to team, but it does work. The last boss has a bunch of dwarves on it, and they all have Unshakable, and they take a very long time to kill. I probably would have built... I probably would have brought Brand and maybe Florence instead, but if Santis dies here, we are going to restart. But at least you could see that you have options. And in all honesty, we probably should have restarted. We lost 2 heroes, but we still did it. So even if you don't have a nuke team, right? Let's take a look at this health. That's not too bad, actually. I'm going to save that because it has speed on it. Maybe we'll roll it, and it's a 6-star health, so that's not bad. So if you don't have a team that can nuke everybody sky high, right? That team that does a lot of damage, you can bring this team, and here we go, 30% max health. So as I was saying, you can bring a very heavy sustain team, and I probably should have restarted there. You can just focus on healing and poisons, even if you have a Santis and one other damage dealer, you can still complete it. Just focus on max HP and focus on keeping everybody alive. So for this artifact, we are going to take max health. That is going to keep everybody alive a little bit longer. Howl of Fury, we just got, and I don't have Evelyn first on, which is unfortunate. And this is level 70, so I need all the help I can get. I'm not going to take War Drum. Typically, I take War Drum on level 60 and down. However, as you've seen, we are struggling a little bit. I feel like if I went with my regular team, I would not have lost anybody. However, I wanted to show you, give you some options, and we did lose somebody, which is okay. We lost 2. We're going to revive them very, very soon. I also have a Breath of Revival as well. We can use that if we need to. And here we go. We're going to claim the chest at the end here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tap to proceed to floor 2. We're going to go over our artifacts one more time. We're going to go over the black market. And then we're going to cut it here. And we're going to go into the next video from here. So our artifacts right now are Budding Sprout. We get 30% max HP. Howl of Fury, of course, we got randomly. We did not select that. That is really good if you have somebody going first dealing damage. And this actually might work with Lunar Mel. Lunar Mel, I believe, goes first before Brand, and that's probably why she's super fast. So this works really well. Plus Arena, of course, I use her in Arena. So that works really, really well. And Lunar Mel works good if they have any buffs or any shields on the enemy team. She will take those off. Beast Necklace we have when an enemy is killed. All allies get 30% attack and 10% speed, which is nice. Soul Chaser Blade is fantastic, especially for my heroes. I have a lot of single target heroes, and this works really, really well. I'm hoping we can pick up one more on this floor. Guiding Crown, of course, each attack has a 20% chance of joint attack with a random ally. Marksman Bow, 50% chance to steal a random positive effect. That is really good. Hunter's Gloves, lifesteal on critical strikes. Fountain of Vitality, we restore 5% health at the start of the turn, which is awesome. And then crit damage, I'm hoping to pick up one more of this Gladiator Medal as well. Maybe get some more crit damage, maybe get one more Soul Chaser Blade on this floor, and then we're going to do okay. Now, on this floor, area of effects, of course, are Biting Cold. We're going to pause here. And then the black market, unfortunately, we did not get enough, which is surprising. Usually I like to try to pick up at least something. Healing effects are going to be good. Maybe something else. Maybe Executioner's Dagger is going to be good. The one that I really, really like here for my water heroes is Water Core. Water hero attacks have a 30% chance to apply Frozen, and that works really, really well with Soul Chaser Blade because Nathalia procs Soul Chaser Blade. And since Nathalia hits everybody, it's a 30% chance to apply Frozen on everybody, right? Not everybody in a whole group, meaning she's not going to freeze the whole group, but it's a 30% chance on each individual target. And that works really well with Soul Chaser Blade because she has a 20% chance to attack everyone again. And that, of course, works really, really well with Guiding Crown with the joint attack. So when we get enough of these black market vouchers, we are going to take the Water Core. So what we are going to do is I am going to cut the video here. Then we're going to go into the next video. We're going to talk a little bit more about the artifacts, the black market, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the recruiting station. Hopefully we can get Evelyn first on or somebody really good since we did lose a couple of heroes on the last run. So that's going to do it for now. If you have any questions, leave me some questions and some comments down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. That will help my channel to go tremendously. I thank you so much for watching. Let's start a conversation down below. I read all of your comments, and I'll see you in the next video.